Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Hume Zone segment tonight. There are a bunch of new polls out. We're not going to give them to you because the polling has been very shaky lately. Tomorrow there are votes in Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, and North Carolina. Donald Trump wins Florida and Ohio. He's got it. It's over. But what happens if he loses Ohio to John Kasich? With us now here in New York City, warming up for tomorrow's election coverage, Brit Hume. Yeah, so that's whatever, it looks like Florida's going to go to Trump. You agree with that, right?
That's what. There's not a single poll.
There's not anything indicating. Although you got to give it to Rubio. He's running around going door to door. I think he's visited every home.
Well, we had that. We had that result in Michigan last week on the Democratic side.
And that's what he's hoping for.
You're thinking somebody who's 20 points down can win. So
some lightning. But I know Florida pretty well. I just can't see Trump losing there. But in Ohio, the Fox News poll has Kasich ahead, and another couple of polls do as well. So let's assume that Trump doesn't win Ohio, and then Illinois doesn't do that well in either, which is possible. Then what happens?
Well, you got to think about the other states and how well he might do in those. If
North Carolina, he'll do well.
Well, yes, I think so.
Right.
But North Carolina is proportional.
Right.
So the delegates will be scattered all over the place, and he may win the most, but it won't be that big a deal. The big ones are Florida, of course. That's 99 delegates.
Right.
Ohio only has 66. So if he wins one, Florida, not the other, he's still 33 delegates to the good against the field.
Right.
And of course, you got to figure the others will get something in North Carolina, but Illinois and Missouri come out. That's 121 delegates there.
So it's not winner take all. It's proportional again, right?
No, it's complicated.
It's complicated,
but it's basically winner take all.
Oh, it is.
He does really well in those two states. He'll get the lion's share of the delegates. So what happens, Bill, is we go forward here, and Trump continues to gain delegates on his competitors. What happens is that they then have to, in order for him not to win, they have to get an ever larger share of the remaining delegates.
Right.
So the odds lengthen against them. That does not mean, however, that by the time he gets to the convention, he'll have the 1237 necessary.
Okay, so you figure Rubio's gone then if he loses Florida. He's out. Okay. Kasich, if he loses Ohio, is gone.
I would agree.
All right, but if he wins, he stays.
Well, he survives,
but he's not going to drop out.
No, I would think he would continue to go on. He'll claim momentum and so forth. But remember, he's winning his home state where he's been governor, where he's popular. This is something. If he's a serious candidate, he should win his state, and he should win it easily.
But even if he wins his state, he's still going to be way behind in delegates with no chance of getting enough delegates to win the nomination.
Right.
So you got to keep your eye on how many Cruz picks up, although he's not favored to win any of the states.
That's true.
But he could do all right.
Yeah.
So at this point, though, the Republican Party, they're trying to hope for Rubio magically winning Florida. That's, I guess, the hope.
What they're hoping for now, I think, is that one way or another, Donald Trump can be prevented from having enough delegates to win it outright. And then it goes to the convention and has to be settled there, and they'll have to figure out then what to do.
But if he comes in with a real big delegate lead, they have to.
Well, this is the problem. Yeah. Let's assume, just for the sake of discussion, Bill, that he falls short, but he's still got the lion's share of the delegates.
Right.
So that means that the convention hall will have a large plurality of Trump supporters. And the rest of the Republican Party gets together and gives it to somebody else, probably one of the candidates now running, possibly Cruz. How are the Trump delegates going to react to that? How are the people who have been voting for him all along going to react to that in the fall? You look at this game any way you can.
Right.
You cannot think of a way this turns out well for the Republicans.
Right.
And unless, of course, Trump wins and wins everybody over between now and then and learns all the issues and does all the things we haven't seen him yet do. And
he could change. But he's got to win 65 million votes to get the presidency.
And he'd have to do some fancy dancing to change enough to satisfy a lot of the Republicans who oppose him.
All right. Brit Hume, everyone.